Welcome back, true believers. F here with F TV, back with more character spotlights here in Marvel Ultimate Alliance for PSP. Last time we covered Hawkeye and Ronin. Technically the same character sometimes. But this time we're going to cover Black Widow and Captain Marvel. Alright, so let's jump into Black Widow. Black Widow. So let's take a look at her level 99 stats. So you can see in terms of her big four, the health, energy, body, focus, she's got no focus, right? So defensively, she's a huge liability. So you're going to want to either increase her body when you find those little pips around the game, or give her an outfit that increases her body, right? And that's actually what I have on right now. But as you can see, she has a ton of energy, and she's a focus-based character because, as you can see, her striking is garbage. She's got horrible defense as well. So you're going to want to build her out as a character who takes advantage of her abilities versus somebody who's going to be punching and kicking, right? So if we look at her outfits, right now I have the ultimate outfit equipped. Again, the melee damage increase is trash. It's bad. It's not useful at all. So the main reason I had this one on is for the boost body, right? It gives her plus 15 body. And then it does, of course, give her the 9 additional defense. Every single outfit's going to give you that 9 additional defense, right? But this is the ultimate one. You're going to want to think about it as the defense one, right? Even though melee damage increases here as well, this one, again, it's not worth it. So, but the other two definitely are. If we move on to Yelena Belova costume, then this one it's also defensive, but in like a different way. So she's got the health regeneration, and then the reflect damage is going to reflect the percentage of damage back to the attacker, as well as that plus 9 defense when you max that out. So this one's probably better defensively than the other one, just because it's going to reflect some damage. Plus, you're going to get some health regeneration. I don't know how good it is compared to somebody like Wolverine or Deadpool's regen, but that's there. Natasha Romanoff is going to be the one you're going to want to use if you just want to go straight up damage, right? Forget how much of a glass cannon she is. We're just going to go straight up. Focus on that cannon part, because it's got gun mastery, right? So increases the damage done when using a gun. And she really only has one gun, as far as I saw. One gun ability, and it's the first one she starts out with. So, but of course, increase crit chance and your increase defense. Her classic is going to be more of a leveling up one, right? So it's going to, of course, give you increased XP gain, so it's going to help you level up. This one's really cool. Energy per kill. So as you obviously level up, you're going to get stronger and stronger, and she uses a ton of energy. So getting back some of that energy when you kill an opponent, this is going to keep you basically stocked on your energy, and it's going to allow you to do even more damage further and further. And of course, you've got your defense plus 9. If we move on to her powers here, starting from the top, we've got controlled burst. And so these are all maxes, you can see. So this one says fully charged. This attack has a 50% chance of killing a stunned enemy. Tapping allows for a rapid fire mode. And so if you just tap it, you're going to do between 139 and 154 damage. If you charge it, you'll do between 278 and 308 damage, so about double. And then this is going to take either 23 damage if you tap it, or 24 damage if you charge it. Weeping Widow is her AoE, one of her AoEs. She's got plenty. So for this one, it blasts out a tear gas that will inflict damage over time. Will inflict damage and also a small amount of DLT. So it'll do between 54 and 60 damage. It costs 30 energy, but it'll also do between 17 and 19 damage over time for 4 seconds. Her other AoE, very similar to that one in terms of damage and energy, but this one is called Flashbang. So it says spinning around, Black Widow unleashes a bunch of stun grenades that will knock back, damage, and stun all enemies around her. So this one has 288 knockback. I don't really use this one, mainly because the knockback, like I like my enemies to be close to me so I can kill them, but she is a ranged character, so this one probably isn't too bad to use. Next up, we got another range attack. This is her knife bomb. So this is utilizing a special knife in her boot. If charged, this knife will explode on contact, dealing more damage than if tapped, right? So this is similar to the gun ability she has, her first ability, where you can tap it or charge it. And again, very similar damage, 143 to 157, or 286 to 314 if charged. And it'll take 23 tapped energy each time, or 24 charged energy. She has one more AoE, in case the other two were not to your liking. So it says, firing pheromone-laden pellets, Black Widow is able to charm her victims into attacking her enemies. Widow's Charm. Enemies are charmed for 6 seconds. I've never liked charmed abilities, so I don't use this one. But for 6 seconds, you can have a bunch of people on your side, I guess. And then one of her two buffs, Soviet Strike, says kicking into overdrive, Black Widow is able to increase her melee damage output for a short duration. So 117% melee damage for 80 seconds, and this costs 92 energy. It's not worth it. She's not a melee fighter. You saw her stats. She's terrible at melee. So Soviet Strike is terrible. However, Red Dawn says by tapping her belt, Black Widow activates her force field for a short time, increasing her defense and reducing damage. This is the one you want. Plus 55% damage, 8% damage reduction. I'm not damage defense, plus 55 defense. 8% damage reduction, costs 92 energy, and it lasts for 80 seconds. So this is absolutely the one you want, Red Dawn. And then her final ability, her Extreme. It's funny that they still call it Extreme here. So this is drawing both her machine gun and her pistol. Black Widow unleashes a furious volley of fire, tearing down everything in front of her. This only does 136 to 150 damage, so it's really not super powerful. So it's a little sad in that aspect. But that is Black Widow. Again, she's not a melee fighter. I would go with probably either Natasha Romanoff or Yelena Belova as her costume. Unless you really want to do extra defense, Ultimate's not too bad for that. Alright, let's move on. And finally, let's take a look at Captain Marvel. Not to be confused with today's current Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who at the time this game was released was still Miss Marvel. Right, this is Marvel. So Captain Marvel, as you can see by his stats, he is also a focus type character. He is not a melee fighter. So you're going to want him going around shooting nega beams and stuff at people. As you can see, his strike is at 53, defense at 9. Tons of focus, not a ton of body, a lot of energy, decent health. So if we look at his outfits, I currently have the, I believe it's called Genghis? Genghis? Yeah, I hope it's not Genus. I'm going to say Genghis. Costume currently on. This increases his max health by 25%. It also increases his damage by 115% with his energy attacks. And, of course, the plus 9 defense. He does have some pretty cool combos. If you go to Genghis Vel, then you'll see this one's also really good. So it reflects damage. It can also give him max energy and some defense there, right? So this one's actually, it's a toss-up between the Genghises, which one you want to use. Both are really good. I just went with normal Genghis just because it does slightly more damage, but both of these are really good. Captain Marvel costume. Gain momentum, resist all, and defense. This is easily the worst one, right? It's probably his most iconic costume, but it's terrible. This is just not worth using, honestly. And then his ultimate costume is easily his best looking costume, but it's interesting, right? So increase your mind. This isn't terrible, right? Because it increases his focus. Skill boost, chance to execute powers at 1 rank higher than normal. That's kind of garbage. And then your defense. So really, for you to pick the ultimate outfit, it's because you really like it and you don't really care for any of the stats it comes with, because like I said, it's a cool outfit, but his best one to me is either Genghis or Genghis Vel. In terms of powers, go to the top here. Nega Beam, or I keep saying Nega Beam, Nebula Beam. So tapping into cosmic energies, Captain Marvel is able to release a blast of energy that will explode, dealing damage to all enemies caught in the radius. So if you look at that one and you compare it to Star Beam, an energy beam attack that can be charged to do even more damage, they do exactly the same amount of damage. For this one this one costs 4 less energy, only 24. This one's 28, right? But if you'll notice, the damage it does is essentially the same. I like Nebula Beam more because when it explodes, it hits everyone, as opposed to Star Beam, where it just hits one person. Then we have Nega Blast. His first AoE says slamming the Nega bands together creates a shockwave, knocking back and damaging enemies, and there's also a chance to take 50% of a stunned enemy's health. So a 55% chance of that. 33 energy for 54 to 60 damage. His other AoE, Shooting Stars. This one's interesting. An energy blast that fires out additional stars doing damage, and you can tap for additional shooting stars. Rapid tap. 54 to 60 energy for the initial blast, which costs 33 energy, and 17 to 19 damage per shooting star that you release afterwards. It's okay. I have Starfall on, so this energy rains down and rips through enemies. That just sounds really cool. And of course, the damage it does, 85 to 94 damage for 28 energy. Cosmic Range is one of his 2 buffs. So this one draws in power from the cosmos and boosts his speed and damage output for a short period of time. Check out this. 142% attack speed, 113% melee damage, 145 attack for 92 seconds at 100 energy. Crazy buff. Absolutely crazy buff. Captain Marvel is honestly my favorite character in this game. In this version of the game. Nega Phase is more of a healing thing, so phasing partially back into the negative dimension to heal, and it becomes invisible for a short period of time. So the effect lasts 34 seconds with a healing rate increase of 7%. That's, I guess, right? In very niche situations, this could be okay, but really, Cosmic Rage is the one you want. And then Big Bang! Pulling in the power of the cosmos, which explodes, doing massive damage to all enemies in range. And no lie, this is massive damage. 339 to 375 damage. Remember, everybody else was like in 150 range. This is it right here. So that's probably one of the reasons that you would use. Which one is it? This one, right? Yeah, Captain Marvel. Just so you can gain all that momentum, so you can unleash his Big Bang over and over and over. I can see that, right? The rest of that's kind of like no. But yeah, so this is Captain Marvel. He's my favorite. The other cool thing about him that it doesn't really tell you here is that when he's hit by energy attacks, he doesn't take damage. And in fact, what he does is he absorbs the damage into energy. It's so freaking cool, right? So any energy attack that he gets hit by, it actually gives him more energy and just makes him more powerful. I think that's so cool. So that's why Captain Marvel is my favorite character here in the PSP version of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Ultimate Alliance content, please let me know in the comments. Appreciate you all. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.